Hi everybody, Jessie here. This is my second layout from the Scraptastic November kit, and I'm just showing you the picture I'm doing. It's a picture of my dad and my son at his first birthday. So I'm just kind of flipping through the papers and picking out what I think's gonna work and what's not and all that kind of stuff. I kind of have a slight layout and plan, and I almost use that ombre teal distressed paper until I come across this one, which is the cut and paste on the edge by Amy Tangerine, which ends up being the background of the layout. And then I'm not doing anything, and now I'm back. So I got the manufacturer's strip off the bottom of that. And then I'm kind of debating and thinking and thinking. And now I'm going to start flipping through paper again because I still really have not an exact idea. I think that yellow paper would work because there's a yellow balloon in the background, but there's really not enough. So then I start digging through the cardstock that I have off to the side that came with the kit, and I eventually picked that red. And I cut a chunk of that off. I'm eventually going to cut it narrower, but for now I leave it at the 12 inches. And then I sit and ponder life again. Kind of decide exactly what I want to do. Yes, sat around a fair bit apparently. So now it's the next day, and I'm back, and I'm going to use these two pieces of paper, and I'm going to use a larger strip of the striped one on the bottom, which is a little bit, oh, and that's a Studio Calico paper, the striped one from the Thataway collection. And the top piece is going to be from the Finley collection, and I'm just going to show a little tiny bit of that, and it's called the Drip, and it has, of course, the coordinating back, which was almost the base of the layout. So now I'm going to cut them down to 10.5 inches, which gives me roughly 3/4 of an inch on either side of the layout. And the red's going to end up a little narrower later on. You'll see when I stamp it crazy crooked, so I straighten it out. And then cutting these two down. And then I'm going to outline everything again with my black Sharpie pen. This layout actually only took me 42 minutes, and a lot of the time was spent contemplating what I was going to do. So I'm sorry about that there's kind of lulls and everything, even with the fast forwards. I debated on the ink to use with this, and then I went with black, and you'll see me debate again later. I almost used a Stampin' Up! Ink, but the green was completely wrong, and I didn't have a yellow enough one, so I stuck everything with black ink. And this is where I go crazy crooked. Pardon the head and the horrible hair. It's Sunday, and I'm lazy. Grey Cup football games tonight, though, so I should probably have a shower since I'm supposed to go out. See how crooked I stamped that? So then I'm going to take my paper trimmer after, and I'm just going to, I turn it off here and clean my stamp and stuff, and now I'm just going to trim it so that it's straight. So I'm going to base everything upon the angle of the stamp across the top, so I'm going to cut that off, and then I'm just going to straighten out both sides, which will create everything to be straight. Or pretty close, anyway. The bottom's probably still crooked, but it doesn't matter. Then I'm going to outline again. So these kits, this is my second one. I didn't show what I did with the October kit because I got it so late, and I only made 3 layouts with it. I have a bunch of it left. But I find them quite a challenge, and I don't mind it actually. It's a little different for me. I usually use the entire collection when I do a kit instead of mixing stuff up, and I kind of like this because I use a bunch of different stuff, and it's from different manufacturers and everything. So if I kill the kits early enough before the next one comes, I'm gonna maybe try and pull one together of my own just to kind of use in between. Or start mixing more of my pattern papers and embellishments and stuff together. Because I gotta get some of this stuff used up. It's accumulating at a crazy fast pace. Then I decided I want some coffee. And you'll see again I outline everything on this layout. I really like the look of it, so I've just kind of stuck with it for the last little while here. And if you've watched any of my other videos, my styles like drastically change. I love to paper piece and do those little people with all the matting and everything all neat and tidy, and then I do this, and I've done layouts where I throw paint and modeling paste and you name it on the page. Oh, and this is where we're going to be fuzzy for a minute because it took me a minute to realize I'm fuzzy, so I'm putting everything together here. There we go. And you can see I'm going to layer that. I'm just leaving a tiny little bit of that green, that yellowy green peeking out the top, and then see it hangs over on either end now from when I straighten that out. And then there's my photo, and I'm going to start debating on the background pieces to add it on. Oh, I did that off screen. Sorry, I took that out. I matted it on this gray just to kind of give the white something behind it before I started putting bright colors in behind there. And then I'm going to take some more of that green from the Finley collection is what I'm going to end up using. That's too dull. The pattern was just too busy for me. So I go with the drip paper again. And I'm a paper trimmer freak. I like everything cut straight. I don't cut with scissors. I can't do it as much as I'd like to. So I'm going to outline all of these as I go, and then I'm going to layer them in behind the photo. And that's just in case I decide to tuck things out. This layout actually ended up staying pretty simple. I don't even end up putting a title on it. I just use one of the cards out of the snippets collection and then do a little tiny bit of journaling. So then I debate on that one, and it's too busy. And I'm trying to find something to kind of make it jump, but like I don't want to use the floral red because there's so much red. So I end up going with that paper, which just kind of gives it something dark to rest on. So I mat that in behind the other layers after I outline it. I'm just debating on how much I want to stick out and all of that. So let me go like that, and then I'm going to put I'm not sure what I do first, but my sprays for the background. Again, this is like my fan of sprays, and I end up pulling 3 colors, which is the Heidi Swap Mustard, the Lindy Stamp Gang Flat Fabio Curiouser Chartreuse, which I don't end up using, and then the Rusty Lantern Lime, also from Lindy Stamp Gang. And I end up just using, the Rusty Lantern Lime and the Mustard. And then once I finally pick those out, I'm also going to go grab a stencil from my stash. And it's a Prima stencil, and it's the Chevron stencil, and it is from 2013. The item number is 564223. So I'm getting the sprays, and then I'm going to get the Chevron stencil. Which means I'm running around my room. And apparently it took me a long time to find it. Oh, and I also grabbed, I have the New Delusion stencils, and I pulled those because they were on my desk just to see, and I don't end up using them. I end up using the Prima one. See there, I just kind of flipped through them really quick. And they're not what I wanted. So now I'm shaking up my sprays, and I'm showing you them, but I told you what they are, so. And the Curious Chartreuse, again, is the one that I end up not using. And there I'm showing you the item number. Apparently I didn't have to tell you all of that, but that's okay. So I'm going to pull out my spray box, and then I'm going to turn my paper around because I'm going to spray it basically focusing on the bottom right corner across. And I'm going to do it twice, and I'm spraying it with a mustard. So I'm just doing it lightly, and I pull it up, and then it goes fuzzy, and I put it back down. Oh, and apparently I didn't notice it went fuzzy till after I sprayed. So then I put it back down and I sprayed it again, and I just leave the stencil in the box. I cleaned it off after and put it away. So then I turn it back over and I'm drying it. And I like the subtlety that the mustard had in the background. It wasn't anything overpowering for that paper. And then I take the Rusty Lantern Lime and I'm just going to kind of flick it all over the page. And I should have done that in the box because I end up getting it on my table and I have to wipe it off. And I use the sleeve of my sweater, which is really bad. And pardon my voice. See? So there I'm just drying it. And now I'm going to start putting my layers down. So I'm going to put the red piece on first. And then I'm going to put that piece on. And then I don't like exactly where it is, so I end up pulling it up. And my picture's crooked, so I end up pulling it all up. And, oh, there I'm debating if I want to put white in the background. But I don't. So, and then I end up pulling it all up and moving it up. And then straightening the photo. And that's virtually the layout. Now it's just some more stamping and embellishing and putting my journaling in and stuff. So I take that arrow, and this is where I debate on the green paper. You'll see me swipe it across the manufacturer strip and decide that it is way too apple green. but it was the closest thing I had, so it didn't work. So I went back to my black, my Versamar, or Versafine, pardon me. And I'm just going to stamp it off, so I'm going to stamp 3 of them. Just like that. And then I'm going to pull out my box of embellishments and things from this. And I'm going to start by picking a frame. I debate on that black one for a while. The red one was just too much red. Flowers didn't work. And I end up going with this teal one because there's a slight teal in that striped paper in behind, so it kind of pulls from that. And again, I'm going to cut it in half, so I only have to use half, so I can use the other half on another layout. This one didn't cut quite as easy. I ended up having to take my scissors to it. But so I cut it through, and then I read the 2 quotes, and I end up using, I can't even remember which one it is because I cover it up after. I kind of picked the one that was better. See, and that's going to end up being my title, but I move it up so that I don't cover those arrows completely. And then I kind of debate on another die cut, and I end up not using it. So I'm just kind of flipping through things and seeing what I want, and if I want to embellish this layout lots, or if I want it really, really simple. And it ends up being very simple. I put a sticker on it and my journaling, and that's all that goes on this layout yet. And it's going to take me, obviously, another 2 minutes and 30 seconds to get there because I got to flip through everything. So I end up not using any of those, and then I pull out the flare, and I debate on the one with the triangles that matches the title card. Well, I guess it would be like a journaling card, but I used it as a title card. And I leave that one out for a while, and then I debate on looking through the stickers, and I end up pulling that one out, and it says Dream Big, Little One, and then I outline it in black, but I don't outline the frame this time. So I'm just outlining that little arrow banner. And then I'm going to pull off the tape that they, oh, I'm putting the string back through because I didn't lose it this time, so this is the string that was on it initially, and I'm just tying the top like they had it. And then that's going to go on there. And then I pull out a wood veneer that says love and decide that doesn't work eventually, and stuff just kind of hangs out for a while now. And I'm going to put that frame on top of the picture. I really like doing that. Obviously, I did it in the last layout as well. So then I'm just going to do my journaling, and all it basically says is that his papa is his favorite, and he's one of papa's favorites too. Really simple. This picture is like almost, well, it would be almost 3 years old, so I just wrote something really simple and sweet. Oh, the side of the Polaroid frame was coming up, so I just pushed it back down. And then I was like, dum-de-dum, what else do I write? So then I just wrote, and then I'm done. That's all that's on there for journaling. That's actually the finished layout, to be honest. I outlined the itty-bitty one card and put it back on. And I go all the way around because I'm not exactly sure what's going to end up showing and what's not. So then I tuck that back in behind. And then I kind of start thinking, I pull out a sticker and I kind of tossing ideas around, and I got those little guys and the flare and that, and then I put everything away. Then I sit there and think about it for a minute, and then I stop. So that's the end of it, and here's a couple of me showing you the layout a little closer up. Kept it really simple. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.